Your goal is still to try to animate music or make animations to go with music?
Yeah. Um, and I think I still want to do that. I mean, I was thinking a lot about it. I was like, is this too like much? You know, like, am I gonna ever be able to do this?
Right.
And I'm gonna keep trying. You know,
What about? Do you think you could get good enough that you could get a job doing that? Is that what you would want?
Yeah. Well, I think more. I would like to be independently employed to do it. Like,
Right, but if you could, I mean, does this work at all? That if you could become good enough that you could get a job doing that, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And then at the job, things obviously will be way more intense than on your own, so you'll learn way more, and then you're like a real contender in the real world. Is that not what you're thinking?
What I'm thinking of doing actually is I've been doing like digital painting, and I was thinking more about entering into like the game, trying to get into the entertainment industry using like concept art skills.
Okay.
Because then like I would be in that industry and I would be around, like you're saying, but doing it instead of like starting from square one basically with a skill set that I'm not really well formed in.
Yeah.
Just taking like my two-dimensional art skills, which I already have, and kind of basically just kind of like polishing them for that kind of environment a little more.
Also, like get in that way, and then when you're in it, learn the higher levels of the animation.
Yeah, and like start understanding more by interacting with the professionals who are working in that way, and then like migrate that way.
That could work. That's not a bad idea.
And I feel like that works a little better because then it takes like a lot of the skills that I already have. Like I could already draw and paint, okay, and so it's just a matter of thinking a little differently. And it's exciting too because it's like I have a lot of ideas that didn't fit in with my painting practice. But now it's like, oh, well, I can paint all this like cool imaginative shit because it works in a sort of illustration or concept art thing, you know. It was interesting because I was like, oh, I kind of got the sense a couple of years ago that concept art was dying because of 3D tools and things like that. Like people who can like, oh, why do you need concept art when it's like you could just build everything in 3D? But I realized now it's like, I think concept art is always going to be there in two-dimensional painting because it's like what's that?
Quicker.
It's quicker, and when you do the painting, it's like you get the whole vision, right? It's like if you wanted to do that in 3D, it's like, oh, well, here's a character I want to model. It's like you can model the character, right? But then it's like, what if you want the character in an environment? Like that when you do concept art, it gives you everything. It gives you the whole mood of the piece. It gives you the whole direction of the piece at once, and so I feel good about like staying like with that, and I'm certainly learning a lot.
Maybe you should try to like find boards or something where people who do that like see what they think, or like
about that plan or
that, but not just that. About like where concept art is going, like where it's at. Like if you could somehow get in touch with somebody who actually does those things.
Yeah, I am in touch with one person. He worked for Disney and Pixar,
really?
and yeah, he worked for a studio called Blue Sky Studios, who works with Disney and stuff like that.
Does he do concept art?
He does 3D modeling, rigging.
Is he gay?
Is he gay? No, he's married and he's got a kid, I think.
But he's still gay.
I was
But he's
thinking,
still gay. No,
I was thinking of someone else.
He's not gay now. He's married.
He's bi.
He's bi. Curious. No,
He's gender fluid.
He's awesome. And anyway, I emailed him a couple weeks ago because now he started his own VR company.
Oh, really?
Shit.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's probably 33, I would guess.
Oh, wow.
So he started his own VR company.
Wait, how's he older than you guys? I thought you guys went the same.
No,
His
the
brother,
The
his
brother.
younger
Oh,
brother,
okay,
Christian,
okay.
is our age. But anyway, so he started his own company. And so I emailed him and I was like, hey, I wanted to get a feel for like the VR industry. And I told him, I was like, this is something I'm trying to pursue.
Oh, that's cool. What did he say?
And so first, I just asked him I was kind of looking for like a technical answer because it's like when you start looking at VR, there's so many fucking ways. There's so many elements to it that like it's hard to know where to begin. So I was like, if you were starting out today, like what would you do? And then he kind of just gave me, he's like, nobody has really succeeded with VR yet. Like nobody has like got like a winning thing going.
Yeah.
So there's like all this like potential. No one has really like done it quite right yet.
Okay.
And he was saying that that's like a thing, and he pointed me in the direction of this like conference group that meets regularly to like, it's like the VR like symposium that like they meet and talk about like the state of the industry.
Okay.
And he told me about those events, and he's like, if you go to those, like you will get a feel for the industry and what's going on. And then I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So that's something I want to check out too. And he told me that it's really like, it's hard to say because no one has done it like correctly yet, or no one has like gotten it right yet.
Yeah, that could be a good start. Yeah.
And then he was saying that what he's looking at is social gaming. That's he sees that like that's his kind of guess on where the industry is.
Multiplayer stuff.
I guess like it would be like multiplayer, yeah. And then but anyway, so there's a lot of it's just all uncharted territory
So
still.
what's his company? What is he doing with VR? Or what is he trying to do?
So he made a game with his company.
Okay.
I forget the name of the game. The company he has is called Scratch and Paint. And I looked at like the team of people he has working for him. And so it's like, that's the thing. When I look at these VR studios, it's like teams of like high level professionals, you know, It's
Right.
like they're super sophisticated.
So his company is doing well.
Probably not, you know, based on what he's saying. It's just because
What kind of game is it though?
it looks like a open world kind of sci-fi looking adventure game. It seems like.
So is he like making a living otherwise and trying that out?
Yeah, I know he teaches at SVA.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's still working in entertainment industry.
What's SVA?
School of Visual Arts in New York
okay.
City. It's like really big time art school. So he teaches there,
Okay.
and then he runs the business, and then who knows like how many other things he's doing.
Oh,
So he's like on some pretty crazy levels of. And then I asked him a second follow-up question, and I was like, just from a technical standpoint, it's like, what kind of jobs do you think are like in demand for this industry? And unfortunately,
He says nothing.
he says technical artist. And so he was saying that there's a ton of modelers, animators, VFX,
Like heavy on computer science stuff.
yes, the technical artist is that. I had to look it up. I didn't
Right.
know what it was. And the technical artist is like the person who bridges like
Like the codes and everything.
the code to the creative assets and making sure that the creative assets like function within that. So that's a super technical job,
Right.
You know, so it's
Totally
like,
imagine.
okay, well, that's the in-demand job, and it's like it would probably take me like 10 years to like learn that, you know, after learning all the other stuff anyway. So
But you're not really interested in that, right?
Yeah,
You
like-
want to be like you wouldn't want to be the guy writing the code.
no, or even managing it, you know. So that was a little disappointing. And he was saying there's a lot of like the other like more creative people that are just all migrating from games and movies that are like moving into the VR industry.
So there's a lot less, like usual, there's a lot less room for the more creative ones.
Yeah. There's a glut of those people. And I mean, those people are all already like, I'm like an infant, and those people are like giants already, you know? So it's like that was a kind of like shakeup of my whole thinking. I was like, damn, you know, it's like,
But you're still willing to go in that direction?
yeah, because it's just,
What else are you going to do?
yeah, I guess that's
There's
one
still like more. It's like just because you see giants now doesn't mean like you still can't be a giant.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of like growth, and the
Mhm.
people that come in later on will still be early in the game. In
yeah.
a sense, you know.
I think that's the case, and so I also think it's like if I feel like if I have like a good enough vision, then it's like hopefully that will account for like the lack of technical skill I have, and it's like okay, well it's like, you know, good idea, because that is like what I see a lot is like, and what I've learned a lot like doing like this whole like project and working as an artist like over the past like 6 months or to a year, it's like having a great idea is better than like all the technical stuff. The technical stuff is only there to like help support a great idea. If you're really technically strong but you have no idea, you do 5 times more work than you need to. But if you have a really good idea, a really good design, then it's like it kind of creates itself once you have a good design for it.
Yeah, it's hard. Meeting those people is a good idea because, you know, there could be jobs out there in demand or not in demand, but like actually knowing the people, you know, that's, I think, maybe in all jobs, how you get the most opportunities, you know, people who genuinely like you, like those people will help you, you know,
Right.
like throwing a resume, even if you're skilled, you know, you're going against like a million people, you know,
Right.
like, so yeah, like if you could get in there, I feel like getting in there, obviously your skill is very important, but getting in there like socially is, I think, crucial too.
Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna try and do, and I was thinking, I found Tim Ferriss's YouTube.
4 hour VR.
I found
Forever be curious.
his YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and I was looking at a bunch of the videos, and I sent you guys the one about Stoic philosophy. I don't know if you saw, but one of the things that...
Did you send it just now?
No, I sent it a couple days ago,
Oh.
last week.
I don't think you sent that.
Oh yeah, Stoic. What's it?
Yeah, Stoic.
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 I sent that to you guys. I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't see it. Maybe
Yes,
you didn't get it.
I sent it in the
Google chat?
Hangouts.
That's weird. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what he said that really struck a chord with me was like running around and working like frantically, like being over busy is
Yeah.
a form of laziness. Because like his argument for that is that if you're in that position that you're running around like all crazy, like working super hard, trying to like do all this stuff,
Yeah.
he's like, you haven't thought out your plan clearly enough.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's like where the laziness is. It's like the laziness is on the front end,
Oh, okay.
you know? So it's like a lot of times people, and I kind of felt like I was doing that a little bit because I'm always like preoccupied with some project or other thing like that. And I was like, that's true, you know, it's like I'm running around busy, but how effective am I being? And so I'm trying to take that advice and think about, you know, what's the best strategy? Like, let me think more carefully about the strategy again. Because it's like, there's all these like ambiguities in what I'm doing, all this like gray area that I want to get more solidified. But now what I'm leaning more towards is like taking the skill set that I already have and trying to make the most out of that instead of developing this whole new skill set to like a really high level.
Oh, so you're saying more like 2D animation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2D animation, 2D art.
That probably is a better idea. Yeah.
And painting. Because yeah, it's like, I'm already like, it's like I have a level 68 character there.
Yeah.
You know, versus like starting out on like level 5, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why I'm going to kind of like shift gears and think more about what I'm doing. I want to use the money that I get from like whatever I'm doing with 2D art to kind of fund a better computer system and maybe additional training. So like use that art to help subsidize.
So you want to do like digital paintings.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten so much practice with digital painting this summer, but I'm pretty sure that it's like the getting good at digital painting is like revolutionizing the whole process because it's like I'll probably never like plan out a painting traditionally again. I'll probably just design the whole painting digitally and then just execute it if I want to make it oil painting. So I'll do the whole thing digitally because why the fuck not? You know, it's just so much better to do it digitally. You can try infinite iterations of any idea. And then it's like once it's as solid as you like it and you understand everything, then it's like, okay, now I can paint this very easily. So that's probably how I'm going to be working. And I think that's going to be a very, that's going to help me do much better work than I've been doing.
So you're not necessarily going to paint it.
And I think it'll be like up to me, you know. It's like if it's something that I feel like it comes out really good and it would work really well as an oil painting, then I would paint it. But I think that's going to save me a lot of time and like getting lost in work that doesn't really result in much.
Okay. Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm sorry to take up so much time talking about that.
No, it's interesting. It's good. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, so that is what I'm going to do. But I still want to keep the animation thing going. So I don't want to like just completely drop it. Like I was thinking, I was like, well, what should I do now? Should I go back to like, should I just do a painting a week or a digital painting a week? But I still want it to be something. I think I'll be doing that anyway, working on painting. So I want to make it like a little
animation a week.
Yeah, so it's focused still on like something that I'm ignorant in to like try and keep working on that.
Yeah, that sounds good. So when do you start work again?
The 27th.
Damn, it's close.
Yeah.
But that's like the teacher started that day.
Yes, that's the beginning of orientation, but the fucking orientation is from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, still trying to escape that rat race too, but see how it goes.
Just have a nice break.
Yeah.
Maybe this year the students will be amazing.
Yeah, this is it.
We have a new principal, and it's
Yeah.
like a bunch of the really shitty students left the school, so
That's good.
they
They're in
might be
jail,
better.
They just,
I should give you the art of war. Read up real quick. Try to outmaneuver these motherfuckers.
Oh, by the way, speaking of reading stuff, I found this, I didn't find it, but I've known of it and I never used it, but there's an app called Scribd, Scribd,
Okay.
and it's like, it's a subscription-based thing, but they have so many fucking books, and it's $9 a month, and it has so many fucking books, and what I discovered is a lot of the books at least the art books that I was looking at, you can download as a PDF.
Oh, cool.
And so it's like, I'm just downloading like PDFs like crazy.
So it just has like a whole bunch of books?
Yeah.
Of any field?
A huge library. Yeah. And it's like, I would say like look into it because you could find shit on there.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can kind of be sneaky like I'm doing. It's like sign up for free, download a bunch of PDFs.
Yeah.
Or read them and then just cancel the subscription. But I think
But
like,
then don't the PDFs go away after that?
no, once you have the file, I mean, what they're not gonna like
I see.
undownload it.
The
You know?
PDF itself. Okay.
Yeah, so not everything is like that. But anyway, like I found so many fucking cool books like on there. I'm just like still like mad.
That's cool. That sounds good. Is it like recent books and everything?
Yeah, a lot of new releases too, and then they have different formats too. You can get like text-based audio and other
They
shit.
get audiobooks too.
Yeah, and they have articles, and it's a pretty.
Because I don't like reading from like screen. Or,
Me
like,
neither.
my phone.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess if you get a Kindle or something, Kindle's not that bad.
No.
I don't know if I ever used one of those.
I've seen them. Yeah,
They're pretty.
They seem okay, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's hard for me to read a book more and more as I get older. I feel like I like listening to it more. Sometimes I feel like something in me feels like I should be reading it. That's the more legitimate way.
Mhm.
But I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, why? If it's easier for me to hear, why don't I just hear it? You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to like take your time and like go back into it and stuff like that.
Yeah, but here's your one.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's something strange that I feel like I'm cheating myself if I don't read the book or something. But then, like, am I? You know?
I get the same feeling. Maybe that's why I defended.
It's just harder. I don't know. Books are. It's hard to be enticed these days in a book. You know, for me
Yeah.
at least.
I don't know. I like reading. I just, it's for me, it's more of like a time issue.
You still prefer reading an actual book?
I don't know if I prefer. It's been so long since I have, you know, and it's like usually the stuff I listen to is like nonfiction.
Yeah,
So I think maybe like fiction I would prefer to read and nonfiction I'll listen to.
maybe. Imagine like reading the Joe Rogan appearance, a Joe Rogan podcast. But yeah, I don't know. The last few days I feel like worse. I don't know. Maybe because I feel like the summer is ending.
Yeah.
Do you feel anything?
In terms of like my mood being
Yeah.
depressed.
Do you feel like you feel worse now that you feel like you have to go, the summer is starting to come to an end?
I'm very much dreading it, but you know, it's just like,
It's more so because you have to start work?
yeah.
What
I mean, that's really it.
What about you, Jeff? Do you feel...
Well, I'm feeling better just because I feel better. So it's like, hey, that's like the good thing, like about being sick is like when you start not getting sick,
Yeah.
you have a new appreciation for life because
Yeah,
you're
that's
like dying
true. That's true,
a
yeah.
few good days.
So you're
it's like-
okay?
So I'm okay, yeah. So like I'm like pretty good. You know, the sickness helps get rid of like depression in a sense. But I'm also looking forward to my vacation. So
Oh yeah, when is it again?
last day of August, 31st. It's like a Friday. It is a Friday. It's not like a Friday.
So to Friday.
And then I come back September 11th.
Oh, you're good.
So I get a nice 11 days vacation.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the summer and you're having on another.
Oh man, it's so sad to like have it end, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, since like Thursday or something, I'm like, maybe I'm doing like too much stuff. I'm like, I guess. I mean, not really that much. I guess work has been annoying, or like a lot of work, but I don't know.
Yeah, I realized like what I do over the summer, I would just love my life to just be like that. You know, it's like I wake up early, I go to the studio from like about 6 a.m. to about 12 or 1, and then I go home and just hang out with my family. It's like if I could get paid for the work I do in those 6 hours, like I really would not ask for anything else to be able to just do that every day. I would be so happy to live like that.
Make something being worth bought. Is that a sentence?
What?
I said, make something in this time that's worth buying.
Yes, that's the key
That's the key to
ingredient.
it.
But unfortunately, all I make is not interest. Not that it's not interesting, but yeah, not valuable
You gotta
things.
sell beats. That's the future.
Yeah.
Sell beats to Jay-Z.
It's true.
Yeah, he's in the market for those. But
There might be an industry for that.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think sometimes I don't know. Maybe because like last year I was getting this new job, so that kind of like propelled me through the horror of the summer ending.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm like overly sensitive to the summer ending. Or maybe it has something to do with it and I'm just crazy. It's just like coincidence.
Yeah, it's funny that the summer ending is like a sad thing because it's like for me. I know why it's sad for me, but I figure everybody else would just like it
'Cause
wouldn't
it's
make a
colder.
difference.
Because it gets colder.
Yeah,
It's fucking hot now though.
Yeah.
I mean autumn is beautiful and nice. So
Yeah. There's always like the 2-week patch of like autumn and spring when those like seasons
it's
come.
perfect.
Where it's
just-
like,
yeah,
but now it's just like nasty and humid. You can't even be outside. It's fucking gross. It's like, the fuck's the point?
yeah. It's been raining like we were talking about last
Oh,
time,
yeah.
man. It's been like fucking monsoon
Yeah, it's
season.
like a tropical rainforest.
Yeah.
Yesterday was like crazy.
I know. I feel like I think yesterday was like the storm that kind of signified that the summer is ending.
Yeah,
Why do you say that?
Because it finally got cooler.
Oh,
Like a little bit at least. I'm sure they'll get
this
pick up.
morning it was
And I'm sure they'll pick up again like a little bit, but I feel like it was the first time that it drops like a lot. It dropped to like 70 maybe. Like last night, I was out last night a little bit and it was almost cool. Almost cold. Almost. But it was nice. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to remain excited, you know? Because I feel like I could keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know. So it goes back to that confusion. I can't tell sometimes if I'm not like gonna jump off a cliff or anything, but I feel like last few days I feel like significantly like more depressed, but not like terribly depressed, but just more depressed than I was feeling pretty like high, you know.
Yeah,
So then it's like it always comes back to that confusion of is it because what's happening in my like which one is it more, you know, like my inherent madness or life itself, or how much is, you know, which one. But then sometimes I think, you know, none of that like really matters. If I just do the right thing, you know, then I'll just feel better, you know, like I don't have to figure that out really, you know. I don't know.
well, it seems like you do because you feel that way. You
Yeah,
know?
I guess because I'm curious. Yeah, I don't know. It's sometimes it just feels like, you know, something is meaningful or it isn't, but I can't tell why it ends up feeling meaningful or not. You know, it just gets confusing. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
No. Not to me. What do you mean? Like, is there an example?
Like let's say like I'm doing well at work, which overall I am, and maybe I could do more there. And that like pursuit, like to attain more like wealth and power and stuff like that, that's like appealing to me in some way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was propelling me a lot, you know. And I'm pretty much doing the same thing, but like suddenly, as a few days ago, I feel like less enthused in that project, you know. It's like, why did that suddenly become less meaningful, you know? And then like I return to like old confusions of like, should I really be doing that, you know? Then like, well, what would I do then, you know? And at this point, like, well, what else would I do? And it's like, I don't know, you know? Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
I think there's a game always being played,
Yeah.
and then you're playing the game, and you feel good because you're doing well in the game.
Yeah.
And then your teammates are like, good job, man. It's like,
Yeah.
this is a good game we're having. You guys are scoring, you're winning. It's like, I'm pretty good at this game. Probably
Right.
go pretty far in this game and fuck some shit up. And then some days you just be like out of it. But the
Yeah.
game is still happening, and you're just on the field, like questioning. It's like, should I be playing this game? Should I? It's like, how do I feel about this game?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Meanwhile, people are still running around you and scoring and shit.
Yeah.
So I think you might as well just play the game.
Yeah, I guess more or less that. Yeah, I guess like I'll snap out of it, but it's just bizarre.
I know what you mean, because I get in those funks all the time. So
Yeah, I can still do everything that I do. It just feels like less meaningful, you know, or like, what is this, or what is like the purpose here, or something, you know. I'm sort of like, I don't know.
we gotta get that cabin, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So you got the cabin.
I think I'm just like prone to like existential dread. I think
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, man. I'm totally with you on that.
it's just like sometimes I'm at work. I'm like, what is this like? Like, who are these people? You know, like, who are these people really? Like, what the fuck is it going on in your head?
Yeah, sometimes it gets a little too, like...
Meta.
Yeah. Sometimes I see all the strings. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, are you guys for real right now?
Yeah.
It's like all this stupid, like... A lot of peacocking and dancing and, like...
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors and stuff.
yeah.
And I feel like I'm outside the stage, like, looking at it, and I'm like, what's... Like, you guys know you're on stage right now, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, why are you pretending to be actors?
It's strange, yeah. I don't know.
But you need that to keep everything else floating. But it's like, do I want everything else floating too?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I wonder if being in this country is just like a problem in itself. You know, it's like, well, you know, I know a lot of people fantasize with just moving and going somewhere else, relocating, starting anew.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the way to fix things. You know, it's like a kind of like a pipe dream fantasy.
Yeah.
But maybe it isn't in some aspects. You know, maybe
Yeah.
like a different culture would bring about something else, or a different like
Yeah.
overall mindset.
It just seems like, you know, the problem is like, it's hard to prepare for like feelings that you don't have yet because you don't know when exactly they're going to hit you. Because, you know, it's like something is fun until it isn't, you know?
Yeah.
Like your job is amazing or amusing until it isn't. And you don't know exactly when that it isn't is going to kick in.
But it's going to.
Yeah, and it's hard to like plan. It's just like, I don't know, you know?
Yeah. I think it's like, I don't mind things being like challenging, you know. But
Right.
yeah, like you're saying, if it's a meaningful thing,
Yeah.
then it's worth it. Then it's like you can take so much punishment if you're fighting for something that's meaningful.
Yeah. It's just like the meaning is so hard to sustain, you know?
It is. And that's where like the energy comes from. It's like the energy
Yeah.
you get from doing something meaningful is so fucking
Yeah.
like amazing.
Yeah.
It's like you could stop bullets and shit. That
Yeah,
energy.
I definitely want to do something, either like a higher job at my job soon or like something else altogether. But like right around now, I feel like I have to like move on already sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yeah, either like higher there or try to find something else, which is another pain. Like if something good doesn't come higher there, it's a whole pain in the ass of going somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gamble in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
because it could be worse. Like,
yeah. But my job isn't that bad or anything. Like I overall, like it's been good, but like I'm already feeling like I want to do, you know, either like higher level things. Maybe that'll like inject the meaning again, you know, because it feels like I'm not just gonna magically go back. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe I'll just like some weird chemical thing, you know, like one day I'll be fine or something. But
yeah.
I feel like it's not gonna be like that. It's more gonna be like I have to take another very meaningful action to step back into feeling that it's meaningful,
Yeah.
you know?
It's weird. It's like, it's almost like a drug addiction where it's like you take a certain dose and it's like you're good with that, you know, but then
Yeah.
it's like that certain dose like becomes like not enough and you have to move it up, you know, you have to step it up, and it's like
Yeah.
if you're not beyond your comfort zone, you're not growing. You know?
Yeah.
If you, and then of course that's like you have to be motivated to do that, but it's like what you're doing isn't enough. You know, there comes a point where it's like what you're doing isn't enough, and it's
Yeah.
like when before it was enough, now it's not enough.
It's just weird moments, yeah.
Whatever it is, wherever it is.
It's funny because, you know, we're all still stuck or like bound by the same thing of, you know, that of it's never enough. In spite of valuing meditation and those like spiritual things, you know,
Yeah.
you never really break away from that. You know, you're always on this, oh, now I need this and then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And you will be, but only for a while, you know?
Right.
So it's just like the human curse.
It is. All right. So I found that Freemason documentary and I ended up watching.
Oh shit, what was it called?
It's the 33 Degrees of Freemasonry or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. So if you find it, it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It's like 33 degrees of.
How
and
long is it? 30 minutes?
It's 33 minutes long, 33 seconds. It talks about like everything that like they go through, and it was so fucking crazy watching it because it's like. What it is basically, it's like to be a Freemason, you have to believe in God.
Okay.
You have to believe in God and basically like some kind of afterlife, basically.
Okay.
And then like the whole Freemason organization is like a cult of recognizing like your own divine spark and like connecting with God. And they have like, and it's all about like continually refining yourself, basically.
Okay.
And it's like they have all of these symbolic things that they do where it's like, you know, as you move up, you keep like learning more, you keep educating yourself more. You learn these like stories that are the cult's like the cult mythos is like built into there, and then the ethics of it are in there. And it's like you keep going through a thing. And like one of the big symbols they have in their organization is the Temple of Solomon.
Okay.
and how it's like you're building the Temple of Solomon, right? Which I guess is a kind of allegory of like yourself, you know? It's like how you build this temple, and then they talk about like the different elements of the temple, and there are parts that go like down into the ground and the earth, and then it's like you go into that part and you find like the word of God, basically, which is like God himself, and it's like, and so everything they study and practice is like basically a reaffirmation of this idea that of being connected to the divine, your own connection to the divine, your own responsibility as a living being, like in this world.
What's crazy about it then?
That's just fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, crazy in like a good way.
Oh, okay.
You know,
so they're not like perverted in some way. They're not like sleeping with children.
no, they're not. Pedophile vampire. Is that what got him deplatformed? Was saying all that shit?
It was like the scientific stuff, I think.
Who? Oh, Alex Jones. Oh, yeah.
Was saying that it was
A hoax, yeah.
What do they call those?
Oh, I want to talk about that.
False flag.
False flag, yeah.
Oh man.
So
But
the
yeah,
Freemasons actually seem cool.
yes, they are so awesome, and it was like it made me think so much about like we're doing, and it's
Yeah.
like that they.
Just substitute God with psychedelic.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those guys are doing it because they
Yeah.
all talk about like profound life-changing experiences. But I guess like the way they do it is they do it dramatically. It's like where you go and it's like they kind of put on these like, dude, you should see it just because of all the imagery they use. You know?
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll check it out.
And the symbolism is so intense.
So none of it seems like insane.
No, but it is insane, like from the sort of perspective of like a scientific, rational thinking.
Right.
Because again, it becomes about the experience of doing it. You know, it's like they don't just talk about it. It's like they live and act out like these certain stories that when you do that, like it becomes something else.
Is it hard to get in?
No,
You can just get in?
they have to.
Have sex with the main guy?
Give them a blowjob.
Oiled up.
It's always that.
It's always that point of entry. But so you go to the lodge, and then you know you basically it's like everyone at the lodge has to unanimously vote you in, though.
Oh, wow.
So if anybody doesn't like you,
So you have to like plead your case?
yeah, you basically go and you have to believe in God. You don't have to believe in any religion.
Does it have to be specific? It could be any god.
Whatever God means to you,
Okay.
a higher power, you have to believe in that, and then
Okay.
you have to believe in what's called a future existence, which I assume
Like
is
afterlife?
some afterlife principle. And again, like that's free for you to like determine like how you define that, but you have to like kind of get the fundamental idea of that someplace. If you agree to that, then you move up and in. And then it's like you move through these degrees.
Do they have meetings and stuff? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or
And
do they
then-
talk about their symbols and stuff?
Yeah, it's really wild. And then so it's like you just keep progressing through like steps or degrees. And then it's like at each degree, it's like there's new lessons that you learn about your own identity, about the nature of reality. And they find like geometry as like the sacred like image of God, basically. Which
Will they help you? Do they help their members like financially and stuff?
I was about to say, I'm like, oh, I got some good leads out of this. You know, it's like
yeah,
some
I think obviously it's like it's a fraternity, and a big part of it is
So they
about.
may or may not.
I do think they will. You know, I think a big part of it probably is that. Like, they didn't go into detail about that, but I feel like that was not the. I mean, anytime you become part of a group, like that's always built in. It's like, why do people like join the golf club and go to the golf club?
Yeah,
It's like you come to associate with all these other people that are
Yeah.
powerful people. So
Yeah, there's something about like people higher up there that like golf for some reason. I don't know why. It's like we're gonna go golfing. It's like it's gotta be like a CEO. Like it's usually not the average person. Although I'm sure some average people like golfing, but it seems like a rich habit for some reason.
yeah,
Right?
I think there's good reason for it.
Is it because it's like there's a lot of time to discuss business? Maybe.
I think that's part of it. I think it's when you're out on a golf field, no one's around. It's like you
Right.
and you're the guy you're
Maybe
playing
that's
with,
what, yeah.
and then
I don't think I've ever played golf. Have you?
I've gone to a driving range.
Is
and
it cool? It seems like incredibly boring, but is it?
It's very difficult to hit the ball. It's like you have to have very good form, and if you just like kind of swing at that little ball, you're like gonna miss it. Your form has to be very like on point.
Was it fun?
It is if you
good
get
at
the hang of it. And it's like as soon as you, like as a beginner, as a novice, it's like I did it when I was in Japan because my host father was like really into golf, and so he took us to the driving range, whereas basically it's like you're just hitting the ball really far, and then so you're standing there at the driving range, and it's like he showed me the form to like hit the ball because I swung at it and missed it, and he showed me it's like here's how you do it, and then it's like all this like concentration to move with the right movement, and I hit it, and I was like yeah, and then it's like a second later like I tried to like do it, but then I fucked it up. So it's like you have to really focus on like being correctly in form, or else it doesn't work. And as a novice, that's not second nature, so it takes a lot of concentration.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, they banned Alex Jones.
oh,
What do
wait.
you, go ahead, what?
I want to say one more thing about golf. Is because I saw one time like
Alex Jones playing golf.
yeah, there was like a meme on Facebook or something like that,
Yeah.
and it was talking about like the kinds of people that like play different sports,
Right.
and it was like and it was a kind of like against the 1% kind of meme.
Okay.
And then it was like, it's like as you move up, it's like the tinier your balls are. Basically, like that was like the punchline of the joke. Like, like these kinds of men play basketball, these kinds of men play baseball, these kind of men play whatever. These guys at the top, play golf so they have tiny balls. Blah,
What
blah,
about
blah.
the ping pong champions?
Yeah, like, nobody brought that up. And then like I wanted to comment though, and it's like
Or pinball?
the difference.
Yeah, pinball.
The thing that stuck out, like why, like it's not because they liked or have tiny balls. It's because it's like if you think about the game of golf, right? Think about the scale of the game,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's part of it, where it's like if I'm playing basketball against you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like me against you, and it's a very like direct competition between like my athleticism and your athleticism. But if I'm playing golf, it's like it's you versus the terrain. It's you versus this landscape, really.
Right.
That's like, and you're playing against yourself on a landscape. And so for me, it's like, I think part of the reason why like management people like golf is because it sort of represents like that long-term vision. I feel like the more successful people have a different scale of vision than less successful people.
Yeah.
It's like at the one end of the extreme, you have the person who's like living day to day. And then it's like at the other extreme, you have like a man or woman who's like engineering an empire to last forever or as far into the future as possible,
Yeah, that's true. That might be some psychological thing to it, like that. Yeah.
But anyway, Alex Jones deplatformed.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I didn't hear anything. I just saw like a thumbnail
Yeah.
that said like Alex Jones deplatformed. So that's all I know about it. But I wasn't surprised either.
But do you think they
I saw
should
it.
have done that to him?
What? So what? Because he said there was a false flag attack on Sandy Hook.
Because he says a lot of, I haven't seen all that he said because he says so much crazy shit over there. There's like 20 million hours of him saying that and absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure there's truth to what he says too, there's some truth to what he says too, but yeah, so they said obviously with these vague bans that I think is a bad precedent, they said, he has violated our terms of use, he has used hateful language. Like what hateful language? What threat, He had, they don't elaborate. They just ban him and tell him, you broke our rules. You want an answer, too bad.
And that's where he's at right now.
Basically, yeah.
Why doesn't... I'm sure he's just going to move everything over to his...
he has his own platform. Yeah.
He had it before YouTube.
And he still has his app on the app store.
Yeah, and his app apparently became insanely popular after they banned him.
There you go, because everybody had to go and use it. So,
Yeah.
for him, it's probably even better than... Because they just took his YouTube channel, right?
YouTube, a lot of stuff. They banned him from YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, a lot of major things.
Apple.
Yeah. They banned him hardcore.
Wow. But why? Because he says that fucked up shit?
Because according to them, he said hateful things or incited violence.
Incited violence, huh?
I think that was one of the claims too. I could be wrong, but it probably is. And these vague, how, where? Show me where he did that.
Yeah, I know he says a lot of crazy fucked up shit, but
Right.
I feel like you could find plenty of people who say crazy fucked up shit.
Yeah, and I feel like they're even I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think he's ever said, I don't like Joe Rogan. Here, to all my fans, please go punch Joe Rogan. That would be okay. You're inciting violence,
Yeah.
But if you say something crazy Joe Rogan is a liar, he's a piece of shit. I heard once he was thinking about robbing a bank. Let's say you say that, and then somebody hears that and goes beats up Joe Rogan. I don't think Alex Jones is responsible for that. It's fucked up that you're saying that about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a lie.
And you're not going to beat up Joe Rogan.
Yeah, especially if it's a lie, let's say, But even if it's a lie and you're saying that in bad faith, even if you're saying it in bad faith, I still think they shouldn't ban you because it's not direct enough, Somebody
Right.
heard it and did it. The person who heard it and did it, they're to blame. You know?
So I guess the
Do
controversy.
do you think so or no?
Yeah, no, I do. I
Do
do.
you?
Yeah, I don't think it should be banned for like speech. I think it's a too big of a thing. There's no like real reason.
Other
Just
than they
they've
don't
been
like
trying
him.
to get rid. Yeah, it's like once Apple did it, then that kind of set off the okay, Apple's doing it, so let's get them off. So they kicked it.
I feel like that, yeah. So I guess we all think that most likely he shouldn't have been banned, right?
No,
Yeah.
because he's been saying all this shit for so long anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think he suddenly like changed his tune.
Yeah, he
It's
does
like-
go crazy, but yeah, I don't think it's direct threats or direct calls for violence.
No,
so it's just
no.
like if somebody's crazy and takes that way too seriously, like the crazy person is to blame.
Yeah, I
Like then
think
don't
so.
watch him. You know, it's like I feel like it's a bad precedent because then like if they're so vague and they get away with banning people like that, you know, then like the next guy who's less crazy and they're like, well, you did the same thing.
They did it to Jordan B. Peterson too.
Yeah, but then they brought him back.
They brought him back, but
Yeah.
they did it to him too. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, what did he say?
Exactly.
So it becomes a question of like taste, you know, which is
Yeah.
basically censorship. Where it's like, but I mean, like I could see like in the case of Alex Jones of how extreme he is, but it's still censorship because it's
Yeah.
like you don't like him. That's why you did it. You don't like him.
yeah.
You know?
And the news incites violence
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. You know,
and spurs wars and does all this. Whereas why don't we ban the news? They're
'Cause
like,
they own
they're
it.
inciting, they're inciting like all this other horrible shit.
but that's the good thing for Alex Jones. You know, it's like, and everybody who's on YouTube like is victim. Excuse me, is a victim of this as well. Same thing with Instagram and Facebook. It's like when you have a platform on those sites, they own it.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like you're going into a business, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's say I have a store at the mall. Basically, it's like, yeah, it's like,
Yeah, but the ball doesn't like you, you're fucked.
yeah. I mean, it's my store, but in the mall, like, if I cause a problem, they're going to kick me out and not let me have my store there anymore. So
Yeah.
everybody has to kind of comply with that, and it's in probably the terms of use that
Yeah, but-
nobody reads.
Yeah, that's the problem with these vague things because then the next guy, like maybe they'll target people who are less crazy until you
Yeah.
know they silence everyone. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Because they're gonna say like, well, you broke it too high. Well, we don't have to tell you why. Boom, you're banned. You know.
Exactly, and I mean, they may already have the right to do that. you know?
Yeah, and it looks like they do because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think that people say is like, oh well, it's not the government doing it, you know. But like it might as well be, you know. Like what other? I mean, like if you're banned from that, like what else is there left to be banned of?
I mean, yeah. Nobody wants to be like on the government's,
Yeah, it's not like-
you know, video sharing platform. That's the one.
The
you know?
C-SPAN, the Alex Jones and C-SPAN.
Yeah. So I think that is C-SPAN government run?
I don't know if it's government run, but you know what it is, right? Like they tape the government meetings. It's
Oh,
the most
yeah,
boring
yeah.
thing in the universe.
Yeah.
But I think for him it's probably good because it's like he can go to his independent platform now.
Yeah, he's probably rich enough that he doesn't have to worry financially.
No, that's not a problem.
But yeah, but
But if
still, like
you do all that work and then somebody just pulls the rug out from
Yeah,
under you.
but no, plus I mean, sometimes I'm not like a huge fan of his, but here and there I'll like put on his clips just for entertainment value. You
Yeah.
know?
I think
He's been right before, and he does like
yeah, that's
he
the
has
thing too.
he has like cracked some stuff that's
like the
pretty-
Bohemian Grove
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. That's the thing too, because like a lot
That
of things
was
he said
crazy.
like are true, but then
Yeah,
he goes
that's
off the deep
disturbing.
end.
He found out about like the planted planted government agents that were infiltrated like protests like violently
Oh, yeah,
to like
yeah.
have everyone arrested.
yeah. So
That's
I
crazy.
think
Like he found out like yeah he's like kind of crazy, but then he's right too, which is like
Yeah, that's
just
the
even
difference.
more disturbing.
it's fucked up because it's like if he was right all the time, you
Yeah.
know, if he just like stayed low with, but I think he follows like every lead he gets
Yeah.
from whatever his source is, so
Yeah.
he's just throwing out the wall. And it's like he's making his big like master plan, and like whatever ingredients he has, that's like how he makes like his meal. You know, some ingredients like are legit, but some aren't. You know,
It's like you're putting what in there? No,
Yeah.
and again, I feel the same way. It's like when I'm trying to find shit out, I don't go to Alex Jones. But I like having like a good laugh at like some of the crazy shit he says, and like you're saying, it's like, and he's right about some things
Yeah.
too, which I think it's kind of important. It's almost like he's like a comedian.
Yeah.
Where it's like a comedian goes beyond the like boundary of appropriate
Yeah.
to like bring back like the truth that is like hidden because of our bias, you know?
Yeah.
And in a way he kind of does that where it's like because who else would explore the crazy leads? You know, it's like
Yeah.
he's not disqualifying anything. You know, so
Yeah.
he goes beyond. And
Yeah.
yes, like 80% of the time he goes too far, but I think like that is worth it because like the 20% he comes back with is really significant.
And it's like the gay frogs thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure you've heard about that as well. Like,
So they're
turned the
putting
frog
shit
gay.
in the water.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like everyone makes that a joke, but he still had a legitimate point in that, which they were dumping chemicals. And
Yeah,
it
like the
was-
frogs actually did become gay, right?
They were forcing like basically the frogs
Get the fuck
into
outta
like
here.
a sex change. Like it forced them to like their
Right.
hormones to like do
But-
something else, so they all became like a different.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
Sex.
crucial point, you know, that they weren't trying to do that is like they were irresponsible with what they were doing with the chemicals, so that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
But
But,
like-
but that is a truth to that.
Right, but Alex Jones would be like, they're deliberately turning the frogs gay, then the people, we're all gonna die tomorrow. Like, that's what, you know?
We're gonna
Yeah, he
die
always, like,
tomorrow,
ramps it
and
up,
we're gonna
you
be
know?
good.
Yeah, he like takes it to like he like.
See, that's a shame because then that kind of like overshadows like his.
Yeah.
It's like he pours the beer too fast, so there's all this
Yeah.
foam, but there's still beer underneath. it.
Yeah,
Slow that pour,
exactly.
Alex.
You think the
Tip
kernel
that
of
glass,
truth is
Alex.
like
Yeah.
into nonsense.
So you got to be aware when you watch them. I think people are, or I hope people
I
are
love-
when they watch them. That there's a lot of foam they got to sift through. It's like,
Yeah. And plus, it's like I don't know. If an adult watching that, how stupid are you that you take him, you know, at his word all the time? You know.
I mean, there are, but then I was thinking that too. But I'm like, you know, there are definitely people that are like, you know, who swear by him. Probably, I see Infowars bumper stickers on cars and shit like that. you know?
Hey, you don't know how old that bumper sticker is.
Yeah, that's true. He's been around. He's been around a long time.
Yeah.
It was so funny on the Joe when he was on Joe Rogan and he was trying to convince Joe Rogan that Obama was a pedophile and shit like that. He's like, 10,000 hot dogs, Joe. What does that mean? Hot dogs? You think they need 10,000? He's like, yeah. I mean, that sounds like they're just eating hot dogs. It's like it's code, Joe. Hot dogs is code.
Joe Rogan does the best Alex Jones impression ever.
He does. It's so like spot on.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's so good.
It's perfect. Like it sounds like exactly like him. If
Yeah.
you close your eyes, you wouldn't be able to.
He's great at it. Yeah, Alex Jones is like a very unique person.
Hell
very,
yeah.
very. Nobody's like him because there's other people who talk shit like him, but nothing like him. Damn, he's insane.
He is pretty like
He's
out
like
there.
really one of a kind. Like there's nobody. People like some people are conspiracy theories, but they don't really get to the limelight. You know,
Yeah.
he like took all the.
He invented that
Yeah.
whole genre of
Yeah, he took that attention over himself. He's like the king of that.
Yeah, he came at a good time too.
Yeah.
because it was like the peak of the internet.
Really? But he's been around for so long. That's the thing. He's been around since the 90s, hasn't
Yeah, but,
Yeah, but-
I think he didn't become famous until like 9/11ish. I think he went in the
Yeah.
he? Really?
And that's when like internet was like kicking off. You know, when stuff wasn't as regulated. You know, when it's,
That's
like,
true.
And when you could like dig down and you find that, it's like a treasure trove at that point. You know.
I remember stuff like that. It would be almost like scary when you found that. You'd be like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like what is this? Like, does anybody know about this?
When you're reading up on back in the day, reading up on
Yeah.
conspiracy theories, like whoa, man.
Yeah, you
If
felt
we-
like somebody was going to come to your house and
Yeah.
like take you away from
Yeah, when
reading it.
you're finding out about like purposeful lightning strikes and stuff against
Yeah.
like people and like shit like that. It's like what?
Yeah, Joe Rogan said he something things out with him, and that one of the clips where he mocks him. He's like, you know, you hang out with Alex Jones, he's a lot of fun, but you say, hey Alex, how's it going? He's like, did you know the chemicals they pour in the water, you're gonna kill our children? He's like, whoa, relax, buddy. Do you want another beer? Like he just goes like, when you start talking, he just
Yeah, you can't.
I think that's a victim of himself because it's like he does the show like full time.
Yeah.
It's like he becomes this person full time.
Right.
Yeah, like it looks like even like when
It's
he's
like he doesn't remember a time before he wasn't this.
yeah, even when he's hanging out, he's like, you know, we gotta crack this right now at the bar.
He's he's like Batman. Like I forget where I saw it. Like
His passion is amazing though.
You gotta admire that.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
guess.
it's like he's
That-
like the most
that's a good
passionate
drive.
person ever.
I'd love to drive like that.
But there was like I forget. I think it was a comic where it was like I think it was like all the Justice League was standing around, and then they were like all revealing their names or something like that. And then so it's like Wonder Woman was like, "I am Diana," whatever her name is, and Superman's like, "I'm Kal-El," like his real name, and Batman was like, "I'm Batman." Like he does not think of himself as Bruce Wayne. he is Batman fundamentally, you know, and like that's like part of. He's kind of like psychotic in that way.
Right.
It's
He's like always on.
Yeah, he does not have like a normal identity.
Yeah.
He is
Oh,
only
man, Alex Jones is Batman.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
that.
Yeah.
That might be my animated gift for this week. Alex Jones is Batman.
I'm surprised, maybe because he's so crazy, like studios don't want to touch him.
I bet. Yeah,
But like he probably would, maybe he would be good in the movie or something because he's so intense.
I've seen him in a movie.
He has.
Well, if you've ever seen the movie Waking Life, he has which is
I have seen it. He's in that.
he's in that. Yeah, I didn't recognize
Oh,
it.
shit.
Yeah, let me see. I'll pull it up.
The Waking Life.
I don't know. I don't know if he acted it, you know, or if they just took like audio. Of
What's
him.
The Waking Life?
Oh, dude, it's the best movie.
It's a good movie. It's basically a guy goes around questioning like, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like the meaning of things, right? Like the value of life and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it is. It's all just like one strange dream. The
It's like
music
a
is so good.
philosophical dream a kid has, and it's like a cartoon movie.
Yeah.
But I would say it's worth watching.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies.
That's Alex Jones there?
Oh, god damn it.
That's his clip?
Yeah. But he's just like spazzing out whenever it loads. I
Is it
didn't.
animated?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then every scene is animated differently, so it's like the animation style keeps changing throughout the film. Be a good movie to rewatch. Oh, god damn it! You watch it yourself.
Yeah, but I got the picture now. It is him, man. That's
You
his
don't want
voice.
to get pulled from YouTube.
Yeah, right. Oh, and he was in A Scanner Darkly too, which is
Oh, that's funny. They're both like similar styles.
yeah,
In what
the
movie?
same director.
In what movie?
A Scanner Darkly.
I never saw that.
Yeah, that was
That's
like
a weird one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's another kind of animated.
Is
film.
Keanu Reeves in that?
He is. Yes, he is in that. Yeah, I gotta rewatch Waking Life. Ah, the music I love so much.
But yeah, Alex Jones. I feel bad that I'm just scared for the future. In part, because of people, like I said before, like of the internet a little bit, but more so people in everyday life. That's part of why I've kind of self-censored myself, And I feel like stuff like that happens, and it makes people who want to. In part, that's why I don't want to say things publicly as much either, because the backlash of it,
Yeah.
And Alex Jones is like the extreme example of that. But now they're like trying to like seriously shut him down,
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people try to do. Even people who say way lesser things, people will go out of their way to hurt them,
Yeah.
Not literally, but like to shut them
Or
down.
maybe literally, but yeah, or to shut them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like as passionate as you are about what you're like thinking and doing, it's like there's somebody on the other side that
Yeah.
is equally antithetical to you.
Yeah, but that idea of like let's like shut him down instead of like disagreeing or something, or even like making fun of it, even like an asshole comeback, I think is better than hey, I'm gonna go out of my way to ruin your business. You
I'm
know?
really surprised, yeah, because it's like I feel like there has to be worse shit on YouTube than that.
Definitely.
Like, what about all the dumb shit? It's like they don't censor dumb shit.
Yeah, like on Twitter, ISIS has Twitter accounts.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
I don't know. Like
All just an email, dude.
Yeah,
What
that's
do you
it.
mean?
they're like in
There's an argument to like having them all like in a proper channel that you could monitor.
I would say that. Yeah, that is
yeah,
true.
That's true. But I don't know. It's all like like the left does mostly control like the entertainment and
Yeah.
like those platforms, and they'll just do things that are wrong because it fits like the narrative,
Yeah.
and like that's what we're living, and like I'm just afraid of like how far will censorship go. Maybe like that nothing really will happen, but maybe it will just keep
I
going.
wonder if Jordan B. Peterson is going to chime in on this. They shut him down. No, but I think, like you mentioned this, or maybe it was you, that that the pendulum is swinging back a bit.
Yeah.
That hopefully, but inevitably, it will swing to another extreme.
Yeah.
And I've also seen other stuff that it's like, it's important to remember that the extreme, and in this case, the extreme left, although they are extremely powerful in these platforms,
Yeah.
it's like they don't represent like the population as a whole.
Yeah.
It is always like the people with the most radical views that speak the loudest and attract the most attention to themselves.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I feel like it's probably not as bad, but it is bad in the sense that the majority of people don't have like really any investment in what's going on,
Yeah.
aside from saying they're this or that, myself included. And so I think the power that does that is probably smaller and more centralized than we might suspect.
Yeah. In other news,
I'm trying to change in like a growth way, and
yeah,
even that is like hard, you know.
yeah, there's such a resistance to that.
And that's me wanting to change. And a lot of
Right.
people don't want to change. They're
Yeah.
very satisfied where they are.
Yeah,
And any change seems to be a change for like the easier, or like the
convenient.
yeah. And it's like I'm a victim to that as well. But I'm trying to be like aware about it. But I feel like a lot of people are not aware and don't care, and are happy in their like that little corner.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It just seems like it's really hard to change basically. And I don't know. I have a hard time believing that most people can. But I think it is possible. But it's like it's almost impossible. But it's not impossible. I don't believe in people in that way generally, unless I see it. You know,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't like take that risk.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's fair.
And I think that's the other thing too. I was thinking as you were saying that, I was like, yeah, for a person to change, I think they need to have a certain degree of support too.
Yeah.
But then that means like you have to have people who are willing to put in the effort to like get you through that, you know, which to
Yeah.
get that out of people is like rare.
I think they themselves like they have to feel like enthused and feel like a lot of meaning behind what they're doing. You know?
Yeah. And people kind of are
Yeah.
looking out for number one usually, so that's why it's like rare to get people to go to that limit.
Yeah. So I don't know.
My turn. All right.
You want to hack after hippies?
Yes. Watch out for the puddle.
Yeah.
Do some closing statements.
I gotta mop that up real quick.